didn't mean it. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. And if I said that, I didn't mean it. You know I never know, I couldn't ever hurt you. I wouldn't hurt you, I didn't hurt you. And if I did, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I don't know how it started, it was like a thunder dart out of the clear and peaceful blue. I may have made a joke, was that a reason to explode? You must have known it wasn't aimed at you. You said I put you down, of course I laughed and called you daft, and then it seemed to escalate. But let's get it straight, it was you who threw the first plate. I didn't mean it, I didn't say that, I didn't say that. And if I said that, I didn't mean it. You know I never know, I couldn't ever hurt you. I wouldn't hurt you, I didn't hurt you. And if I did, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. With those Exocet missiles flying round my head, you should have known it was a dangerous game. I've had a lot of practice and I've been well trained to take good and careful aim. I must have made at least a dozen direct hits, although of course I wasn't keeping the score. And it looked like the place had been hit by a nuclear war. I didn't mean it, I didn't hurt you, I didn't hurt you. And if I hurt you, I didn't mean it. You know I never know, I couldn't ever do that. I wouldn't do that, I didn't do that. And if I did, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. You told me if I loved you I'd know what you really wanted. Wasn't that just another attack? You said I ought to leave, and then you said that if I did I better never come back. And how was I to know that when you told me I should go you really wanted me to stay? I've got the pride, and why do I have to be the one to give way? I didn't mean it, I didn't do that, I didn't do that. And if I did that, I didn't mean it. You know I never know, I couldn't ever leave you, I wouldn't leave you, how could I leave you? And if I did, I wouldn't mean it, I wouldn't mean it, I wouldn't. Mean it. There's no cause for alarm, there's really no cause for alarm. It's clearly safe, clean and cheap, all sensible people know it can't do any harm. The facts have been collated and the figures calculated and the risks evaluated and the findings validated, and our experts vindicated, for they clearly demonstrated that the dangers to the public have been much exaggerated. So stay cool and stay calm, for there is no cause for alarm. First we'd like to put an end to this unfounded speculation concerning the emission of low-level radiation. Now this is just routine, indeed the dose is well below the maximum permissible laid down by those who know. The facts as far as we can ascertain them clearly show the risks are scientifically acceptable, and so we know there's no cause for alarm, there's really no cause for alarm. It's clearly safe, clean and cheap, all sensible people know it can't do any harm. The facts have been collated and the figures calculated and the risks evaluated and the findings validated, and their experts vindicated, but they clearly demonstrated that the dangers to the public have been much exaggerated. So stay cool and stay calm, for there is no cause for alarm. Now if you've worked yourself into a state of high emotion about the waste plutonium discharged into the ocean. You should not be upset by such unscientific chatter. You'd far more chance of being scratched to death by your pet cat. Analysis has shown a little radioactive matter just makes the water warmer, so the fish are getting fatter. So there's no cause for alarm, there's really no cause for alarm. It's clearly safety and cheap for sensible people. No, it can't do any harm. The facts have been collated and the figures calculated and the risks evaluated and the findings validated and our experts vindicated, but they clearly demonstrated that the dangers to the public have been much exaggerated. So stay cool and stay calm, for there is no cause for alarm. Disquiet has been voiced about our foolproof cooling system because of cracks which have occurred and sometimes we have missed them. The cracks are slightly superficial, hardly worth a mention, although of course we're giving them our most expert attention. But calculations prove there is no cause for apprehension, for these are far too complex for the layman's comprehension. So there's no cause for alarm, there's really no cause for alarm. It's clearly safety and cheap for sensible people. No, it can't do any harm. The facts have been collated and the figures calculated and the risks evaluated and the findings validated and our experts vindicated, but they clearly demonstrated that the dangers to the public have been much exaggerated. So stay cool and stay calm, for there is no cause for alarm. We know you'd like to ask about those missing fuel rods. Well, first of all, let's make it clear we don't claim to be gods. We took each rod and scrupulously chopped it up and canned it and numbered it most carefully, and then just as we planned it, we put it in the cooling pond. But when we went to land it, it wasn't there at all. We simply cannot understand it. But there's no cause for alarm, there's really no cause for alarm. It's clearly safety and cheap for sensible people. No, it can't do any harm. The facts have been collated and the figures calculated and the risks evaluated and the findings validated and our experts vindicated, but they clearly demonstrated that the dangers to the public have been much exaggerated. So stay cool and stay calm, for there is no cause for alarm. We're very often lost about disposal of the waste. Indeed, this is a problem and of course it's being faced. We're working on it daily with resource and dedication, examining a process which we call vitrification, methodically testing every granite rock formation, investigating ocean beds and solar exploration. We're working in the field of dematerialization and following developments in prestidigitation, and now at last we feel we're in a breakthrough situation. For the final solutions in the process of creation. So there's no cause for alarm, there's really no cause for alarm. It's clearly safe and cheap for sensible people. No, it can't do any harm. The facts have been collated and the figures calculated and the risks evaluated and the findings validated and our experts vindicated, but they clearly demonstrated that the dangers to the public have been much exaggerated. So stay cool and stay calm, for there is no cause for alarm. I was pounding, I was pacing, I could feel my brain cells racing, trying to find a final song to fill my latest LP. When my dreams were interrupted, and it seemed the room erupted, as loud voices burbled up to drown the song that was in me. They said, sing a song to please us, nothing nasty about Jesus, something simple, something tuneful, made of sweet and loving hearts, like a catchy little number, which won't wake us from our slumber, and if everyone can hum along, it's bound to make the charts. Said the man final, here's a contract you just sign on guarantee. If you produce the goods, $1 million sale. If you want to write a smash it, see what's selling, then rehash it. For the sound that fits the fashion is the sound that cannot fail. Just be vague or better vaguer. May a gypsy lover's plague her. Well then moan like Leonard Cohen. What that introverted drain, all that meaningfully hollowed in. I bet you'd like his following, and we can sell our wallow in self-pity, angst and pain. Well, the noise grew ever louder as advice spread from the crowd until my will began to waver and my ears began to ring. Then some voices on the sidelines said they'd drawn up proper guidelines to keep me on the right lines for the song I ought to sing. To the point is our suggestion, so just ask yourself these questions. Will it lead the working classes to a final victory? Would it be approved by Lenin, have heroic working men in? And will it tell us when the revolution's gonna be? These hearty bellows, and up jumped 3 jolly fellows. They were hauling on the bowling, swinging tankers through the air. They said, sing us something folky, something jolly, something jokey, or else lyrical and low-key about maidens who are fair. Nothing critical, political, satirical, or spiteful. Make it pleasant and delightful, just an earful of goo. We want a song to reassure us, with an all-together chorus, and we don't need words to bore us. Fa la la la, they will do. By this time I was frantic, then a voice said, be romantic, write of hearts that burn with passion and a love that never fades, with no arguments or tension, no marital dissension, and especially no mention of nappies, thrush or AIDS. No more deviants and crazes, let all faders go to blazes, give us normal happy people, which of course is what we are. I laughed at them, began, it seemed to echo round the planet till the crowds of voices vanished, leaving me with my guitar. In a snowstorm with the temperature 10 below zero, and I'd claw my way up precipices like a regular mountaineer. Oh, and I wouldn't notice the icicles that were taking the place of my toes if I thought I'd find you sitting on the summit clutching an Arctic rose. If I thought I'd find you sitting on the summit clutching an Arctic rose. Well, not quite, but nearly. And I'd queue the 30 days outside the Albert Hall for the last night of the proms. And I'd brave the hope and glory mob with their red, white and blue tom-toms, waving their little Union Jacks, everyone an embryonic Enoch Powell, just to watch you playing your concerto number 1 for electric light bulb and towel. Just to watch you playing your concerto number 1 for electric light bulb and towel. Well, not quite, but nearly. And I'd row to the other ends of the earth in my coracle tempest-tossed. And when I struck a coral reef and it seemed that all was lost, I'd swim the shark-infested seas till I felt like a washed-out squeegee. But it would be worth it just to see you shinning up coconut palms on Fiji. It would be worth it just to see you shinning up coconut palms on Fiji. Well, not quite, but nearly. Through deserts when the sun was burning hot, and I'd hack my way through jungles, but on the whole I'd rather not, because I think I'd sooner see you in a warm and friendly room, with nothing to divide us but the half-light of the moon, with nothing to divide us but the half-light of the moon. Yes, that's right, really. Heard it on the radio, I saw it on TV, I read it in the papers and that's good enough for me. The people who are trying to protect us all agree our way of life is threatened by the Russian enemy. Yes, the Reds are ready waiting for an opportunity to overrun our country and impose a tyranny. We'll all be wearing furry hats and drinking lemon tea, but there's one thing that keeps this country great and proud and free. It's the nuclear deterrent in which we place our trust. The nuclear deterrent, we'll use it if we must. And then I suppose they'll do the same and we'll have to adjust to being tiny particles of patriotic dust. The nuclear deterrent in which we trust. I have the staring nightmare and it makes me jittery. The Reds have taken over and they've issued a decree abolishing the institutions of democracy. Like Robin Day, the Daily Mail, the household cavalry, I dream they banned the bastions of British liberty. The Stock Exchange, the House of Lords, our sacred monarchy, the Carlton Club and even, God forbid, the BBC. And then I wake and know there's one thing keeps us safe and free. It's the nuclear deterrent, it banishes all fear. The nuclear deterrent, let fools and traitors sneer. But whether you're a humble pleb or an exalted peer, your way of life's defended, so give a rousing cheer. For the nuclear deterrent banishes fear. It's kept the peace for 40 years, that circular refrain keeps blasting in my eardrums and battering my brain. But still I get to thinking, I think no one's ever shown why the Russians should invade us. They've got problems of their own. And isn't it a crying shame the billions that we spend to deter a so-called enemy who could just be a friend? And what about all those countries that still haven't begun to acquire nuclear weapons and they've not been overrun? There's Switzerland, they're not prepared to wage a nuclear war, so what's kept the peace for them for 100 years or more? They must have a deterrent, the gnome, the alpenstock, and then of course I realised it is the cuckoo clock. The cuckoo clock, buy one without delay. Let's turn our nuclear missiles into cuckoo clocks today. And as for cruise and try and throw those murderous toys away, the 40 million cuckoo clocks will keep the Reds at bay. The cuckoo clock, the cuckoo clock, hip hip hooray. Where is the path that points to a new day, saluting the redness of the rising sun? There are no paths, their maps are out of date. Instead of fields of ripening corn, barbed wire and a locked gate. There is no way back, no way down to the river. We must go on, the footpaths have gone, throw the maps away. And still they pursue me, they give me no rest, wagging their pendulum fingers, it's always the same. And counting and counting and counting in strict time. Is it some sort of game, is it some sort of test, they give me no rest. Is it for me that they count up the children who play in the park? Or perhaps for the red, red poppies that shine in the dark? Hide your eyes, I say, and race away to a new hiding place. The count continues.
The years grow tall, they hide the light, they shroud the sun, and we stay small. And in our eyes the pain recedes, the passion dies, the face we knew, the smile we loved, the hands we touched when time was new, are nowhere seen. The branching years have come between. We sowed a wild garden, there we drowned in summer perfume sweetening the air. We made time drunk with dreams and scattered seeds of brightness everywhere. Love will change the world, and love will never change. We believed, we believed. The years grow tall, they hide the light, they shroud the sun, and we stay small. And in our eyes the pain recedes, the passion dies, the face we knew, the smile we loved, the hands we touched when time was new, are nowhere seen. The branching years have come between. Now in my marble garden silence grows, and spider shadows gather everywhere. Still in the distance see the spark that burns the darkness from the air. Soon will come the day when love will overcome. We believed, we believed. The years grow tall, they hide the light, they shroud the sun, and we stay small. And in our eyes the pain recedes, the passion dies, the face we knew, the smile we loved, the hands we touched when time was new, are nowhere seen. The branching years have come between.
Batons swoop, sirens blare, the uniforms are everywhere. Here's freedom, the well-heeled fathead drools. This is a land where silence rules. Now listen, children, while I sing this ballad I've just made about a Peter Wright, not Rabbit, a spycatcher by trade. I'll sing of how he joined a special gang called MI5, who guard the nation's secrets so that liberty may thrive, and of how young Peter, quick to learn, soon got to know the ropes, the trick of picking locks, the art of opening envelopes, and of how the senior officers began their working day by trying to solve the crossword in the Times, needless to say. But of all the strange things I relate, the strangest thing to me is that this doggerel I'm singing contravenes the rule of three. For Nanny, God bless Nanny, thinks it wouldn't do for you to know about the naughty things that grown-up people do. SF, special facility, was Peter's favourite toy, and night and day he played with it like any little boy. The tapping phones and bugging rooms were things he loved the best. 5 years, says Wright, we bugged and burgled at the state's behest. They bugged the Russian embassy, which wasn't very chic, so they bugged the French, the Chinese, the Egyptian and the Greek. They bugged Khrushchev's room in Claridge's and listened in with care, while Kate decided on his tie and how to part his hair. They bugged colonial conferences, then they turned their minds to keeping tabs on militants and leftists of all kinds. Trade unionists and students were the targets of their wiles. They burgled CP members' homes and stole the party's files. And what did it add up to? And what did it avail? All this bugging and burgling and intercepting mail. Did it save us from the Russians? Did it help to keep us free? Did it keep this country green and pleasant? Did it buggery? But of all the strange things I relate, the strangest thing to me is that this doggerel I'm singing contravenes the rule of three. The Nanny, God bless Nanny, thinks it was is right, that we often were misled, and the Russians always seem to be a step or two ahead. For whatever MI5 knew, the Russians knew it too, and when we knew, they knew, they knew, we knew, they knew, we knew. Penkovsky, was he theirs or ours, a triumph or a con? So back and forth and round the mazy dance went on, while Peter set up Operation Sunshine Big Group Choir. Dew and Mole, what lovely names, and saw them all misfire. But of all the strange things I relate, the strangest thing to me is that this doggerel I'm singing contravenes the rule of three. But Nanny, God bless Nanny, thinks it wouldn't do for you to know about the naughty things that grown-up people do. I've heard the worst, says Peter, and this I can't forgive. For years this Secret Service has been leaking like a sieve. The evidence is growing, there is someone placed on high who is tipping off the Russians, a traitor and a spy. Is it Mitchell? Is it Hollis? The outfit's own DG. Incredible, I hear you say, but Wright could not agree. His finger points to Hollis, I'll unmask him if I can. He's ex-public school and Oxford, and I never liked the man. And now this tale grows farcical, but should we laugh or cry? For the CIA man Angleton names Wilson as a spy, and Cecil King in '68 decides to lead a coup against the Wilson government, so strange it must be true. And certain shady businessmen ask Peter for the gen to do the dirt on Wilson, keep him out of number 10. And a group of senior officers tell Wright of their intent to save us from the clutches of a Labour government. But of all the strange things I relate, the strangest thing to me is that this doggerel I'm singing contravenes the rule of three. But Nanny, God bless Nanny, thinks it wouldn't do for you to know about the naughty things that grown-up people do. Now I haven't time to tell you of those other dirty tricks, like the plot to bump off NASA, but that was MI6, and of how the CIA planned in 1965 to open up their sharky mouth and swallow MI5 alive. But one more thing I feel that I should bring to your attention. For all his pains, poor Peter never got his proper pension. So why not buy his book yourself and do the man some good, so he can die in comfort as ex-spycatchers should. And of all the things I've told you, the strangest thing to me is that this doggerel I've been singing contravenes the rule of three. But Nanny, God bless Nanny, thinks it wouldn't do for you to know about the naughty things the spycatchers do. Susie fights policeman. If she can, she will select a sergeant or a chief inspector. Oh, she's choosy. They all know Susie. Down at the station, when they hear she's on the prowl, there's consternation, as they know that when Susie sinks her teeth into their uniforms and flesh, she won't let go. She won't let go, 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 she won't let go. It's as if it is her mission to bite policemen. It's not so much the wounds the coppers mind as the affront to their position. The psychiatrists report, they stress on how distraught her parents were, and how respectably she'd been brought up. You're not a criminal, not wicked, just confused, he said, and laid a hand upon her arm and took a look inside her head. We are your friends, and I assure you that we understand you better than you understand yourself, and with your cooperation we can cure you. Susie looks around as if for somewhere she can hide. I enjoy a good bite, she says defiantly. Of course you do, he says, and writes it down. And that's exactly what, if you'll cooperate, we mean to cure when we've succeeded in uncovering just what you do it for. We are your friends. You can speak openly, but of course, to allow you to go round taking bites out of members of the force could lead to anarchy. Susie looks around, but there is nowhere she can hide. It's the uniform, she says, does something to me. And again he notes it down as he probes further in her brain, and is suddenly surprised to find his eyes have taken in how perfectly her teeth are formed, and how she'd look quite pretty if she smiled, and how her eyes are green. Then he explains as to a child that without the uniform they couldn't do their job. That's what I mean, she says, that's what I mean. And in her head a child screams, and in her head a spider spreads its threads like words to catch and cobweb all her waking dreams. Come along now, Susie, give a smile for Daddy. You could look so pretty if you only tried. Won't you make me happy when you grow up to be Daddy's lovely lady, every man's dream bride? Susie bites policeman. If she can, she will select a sergeant or a chief inspector. Oh, she's choosy. They all know Susie. Down at the station, when they hear she's on the prowl, there's consternation, because they know that when Susie sinks her teeth into their uniforms and flesh, she won't let go. She won't let go, 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 she won't let go. It's as if it is her mission to bite policemen. It's not so much the wounds the coppers mind as the affront to their position. Susie watches from behind a screen, which means her mind is out of reach of the man whose brain is trained to find out, and whose reason is as sharp as a dissecting knife, to slice away the core of craziness and lead her back to life for your own good. Please believe me, if you persist in being obstinate, you'll leave us with no choice but to have you locked away, and that would grieve me. Susie, in her hiding place, keeps silent as a stone, and then she hears him say, "What will become of you?" His dream is to wake her from her dream, and so he tells her that these pills are what the treatment now requires to help her exercise control over her fears and her desires for your own good. You need society, for when we're trapped in our fantasies, we may think we can fly instead of learning to adapt to the reality. Susie, in her hiding place, holds silence like a stone as she sees his shadow grow to tower over her. And still he tries to break the spell, and still the words flow on as she sees him rise to giant size between her and the sun. And when he reaches out to steal her soul, she sinks her perfect teeth into his arm. How can he ever know she doesn't mean him any harm? As in her eyes he dwindles down to baby size. She won't let go, he yells, she won't let go. Still in her head a child screams, and in her head the spider spreads its threads like words to catch and cobweb all her waking dreams. Now you've made me angry, no one loves you, Susie, when you're being moody, when you're being wild. Who would want to marry someone who's so surly? I don't know what will become of such a child. Susie, policeman. If she can, she will select a sergeant or a chief inspector. Oh, she's choosing. They all know Susie. Down at the station, when they hear she's on the prowl, there's consternation, 'cause they know that when Susie sinks her teeth into their uniforms and flesh, she won't let go. She won't let go, 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 she won't let go. It's as if it is her mission to bite policemen. It's not so much the wounds the coppers mind as the affront to their position. That bridge cannot break, that's what the expert said. High wind, bridge falls, now there's mourning for the dead. Ah well, human error, science brings the truth to light. The reward is progress and the risks are slight. And in the shadow still, I see a figure standing. Father, teacher, wise, all-knowing, stern, unbending. And in that presence still, I bow the head and kiss the rod. For this is the voice of authority, the voice of God. That ship cannot sink, that's what the experts said. Cold collision at the bottom of the ocean lie the dead. Ah well, human error, history will not forget, and the challenge of the future must be met. And in the shadow still, I see a figure standing. Teacher, father, wise, all-seeing, stern, unbending. And in that presence still, I bow the head and kiss the rod. For this is the voice of authority, the voice of God. There'll be no war, that's what the experts said. Bombs falling, cities burning, voices calling for the dead. Ah well, human error, the price of freedom must be paid. The glory of their memories will never fade. And in the shadow still, I see a figure standing. Leader born to rule, far-seeing, stern, unbending. And in those shadows still, I bow the head and kiss the rod. For this is the voice of authority, the voice of God. That drug is quite safe, that's what the experts said. Babies born blind, deformed, some born twisted, some born dead. Ah well, human error, the lesson learned will not be lost. Progress tells us count the gains and not the cost. And in those shadows still, I see a figure standing. Wise, white-coated man of knowledge, stern, unbending. And in those shadows still, I bow the head and kiss the rod. For this is the voice of authority, the voice of God. Nuclear power is the future, that's what the experts say. We are being led like lambs to the slaughter. being led by the blind, the deaf and the dead into the rat trap and the fallout shelter. We are being led into the twilight world, the world of two, into the crawling world of catacombs.
When you in the world you've a dream that is wild, and they tame you and mold you till one day behold, you're obedient soldiers, commuters, consumers. Reality rules and there's no room for dreamers. They teach you your place in the obstacle race, with the prize that you chase always just out of reach, and you're urged on by megaphone voices that offer you choices that are not your own. Only listen for the voice that lives inside you. Not a songbird in a cage, it waits in silence. Find the key to set it free and soaring skyward. Now the sky is filled with voices, hear them sing beside you. May the powers that be in their wisdom decree that you're no longer needed to feed the machine. The wheel turns, you're dismissed if you dare to resist. There are walls, there are laws that confuse you and bruise you. They'll label you scroungers and wasters and spongers. They'll call you subversives, red traitors, and the worst if you don't fit the norm. If you wait and conform to the rules, then you're out of the game. Only listen for the voice that lives inside you. Not a songbird in a cage, it waits in silence. Find the key to set it free and soaring skyward. Now the sky is filled with voices, hear them sing beside you. The way they've arranged things, you think you can't change things. You're one, just you, and whatever they do, don't forget to remember you're a name, not a number, and no one can think for you, dream for you, speak for you. Don't let them bind you down, don't let them grind you down, don't let them mold you till one day, behold,